Hello, 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 hello. Hey there, everyone. Thank you so much for being patient while I, um, try to pull everything together. I actually was ready to go, but could not figure out a couple of things while I made sure that I was. I'm hearing a. I'm gonna go and turn this off. Let me see if you guys, if you all are still hearing like an echo. Good. Seems like the echo is gone. Good, 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 good. So, for this is what we're going to talk about today. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about what we're going to dive into today. And so, I have some notes here ready to go for you because I want to be able to be as thorough as possible. So, what we're going to talk about are 10 tips to generate leads for your consulting or freelance business. So I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page about what we're going to dive into. Let me go ahead and make some adjustments for you so I am looking straight at the camera and not having to slide over. So let's go ahead and dive into it now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define what leads are. Okay. Then we're also going to talk a little bit about lead generation. Then we're going to talk about lead generation methods. And then finally, we're going to round this out with the 10 tips that I promised I was going to share with you all. Now, the first thing I want to ask you to do, please, is to subscribe to the channel. We here at Ready, Set, Go Consult, our goal is to share as much as we can about what it takes to level up your consulting business. If you are still employed and you're thinking about transitioning to becoming a consultant, we definitely have the information, content, the blogs, the training that you need to do that. But here on this channel, what we do is, feature a lot of the information that we already have in much, 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 much deeper, detail in the Ready, Set, Go Consult membership, and of course on the website and just some of the other places where we have information. So please go ahead and subscribe. And every week, every week I will show up here live to share some of the insights on what I have learned running my own consulting business. So for those of you who are wondering, if this is your first time here at the Ready, Set, Go Consult channel, who am I? My name is Patrice Davis. I am the founder and CEO of a company called GrantsWorks. GrantsWorks is a grant consulting business, not a grant writer. We are a federal grant consulting business. We specialize in compliance, in federal grant management training. And I've had that business now for just about a few weeks short of 4 years. I started the business in January of 2020. And in the 4 years, we have grown exponentially. And we've done it in a way, I've done it in a way that was very intentional. And so those are some of the things that we talk about in the membership. And there is an actual method that I used intentionally. And thankfully, that method has resulted in GrantsWorks growing and being recognized as a federal grant consulting company that does things differently, that sees things differently, that emphasizes different things. All of these things are very effective, but I just want to give you some insight on who I am. Our clients, though, I want to make sure we're clear about that. Our clients include a number of different types of organizations. So they are universities, they are research centers, they're nonprofits, they're med tech firms, and they're also local government agencies. So imagine what it's like engaging with those different types of organizations and learning, how to speak the language, and learning what these different types of entities' pain points are and who the buyers are. What are their specific challenges? Who are the decision makers, not just in the buying process, but in some of the other ways that we collaborate? So just a lot of things that are learned when you are consulting and when your target market, moves across so many different types of organizations. We have both US based and international clients. And again, 4-year anniversary in a few weeks. I'm also the CEO of Ready, Set, Go Consult. Ready, Set, Go Consult is a consulting business accelerator for early stage entrepreneurs, early stage consultants, early stage freelance business owners. And of course, I've already shared a little bit more about Ready, Set, Go Consult, the membership, several minutes ago. And I'm also the host of the Age Has No Limit podcast. You're probably wondering, where do I have all the time to do all of these things? Uh, just believe, trust me that they didn't all start at the same time. And, one led to the other. And so, thankfully, between my team and I, we've been able to manage all of these different things that are going on. But let's go to the reason why you are here. And that is because you want to learn, of course, more about specifically lead generation for your consulting business or for your freelance business. So, leads. What is a lead? A lead is a prospect. It's a business prospect or a prospect that's actually responded to some call to action that you have put out there, right? And so now they're not just a person who visits your website. They're a person who visited your website but maybe completed a form to get more information about your company. They're a person who visited your website but decided that they wanted to download a free ebook. They're the person that visited your website that then maybe filled out a form for a free consultation. That then makes them a lead. Prior to that, they are a prospect. They're maybe, they're interested in learning maybe about your site, about what you do, but it's not until they actually respond to a call to action that they become a lead. So I just want to make sure we were clear about that. And so according to HubSpot, and I think HubSpot is just a really great resource for certain things as it relates to customer relationship management, marketing, and a few other things. And so I tend to go to their site and a few others when I really want to make sure I fully understand something that I know I've been doing, that I was intentional in doing, but I want to make sure. I typically go to a few sites just to make sure that my understanding is correct. But HubSpot, great resource. And according to them, lead generation is the process of attracting, let me get this information over here, prospects to your business and increasing their interest through nurturing, right? So that is HubSpot's definition. So you're probably also hearing the term nurturing. There is such a thing called lead nurturing, and there are different things that you can do to nurture leads. One of the more popular ones is, of course, email marketing, because once they've downloaded, let's say, your free ebook, they are now more than likely a part of your mailing list or your distribution list. And however often you're sending out emails, whether it's weekly or every 2 weeks, they are being nurtured because they're starting to learn a little bit more about you, about your company, about your products, about your services. And so the nurturing is that relationship building that's happening because of the content that you're sharing. Okay. So I just want to make sure we're talk about that. So again, a lead has responded to a call to action from your website or from social media, and maybe specifically even from your blog. If you go now to the grantsworks.com website, you'll see we have a blog, and the blog is created for a number of reasons. Yes, definitely to help visitors come to the website, learn a little bit more about something related to federal grant management. It also is a great way for our team to learn more about what we do, to get a really deeper insight on what we do. It is certainly a way to increase our search engine optimization or enhance our search engine optimization using certain strategies. It is also a way for us to generate leads, because there's the content, and then there's certain call to action buttons in between the blogs to make sure that people have and of course the calls to action are relevant to what the content of the blog or the topic of the blog may be, and then so just want to make sure that I gave you guys that really good example. But HubSpot had this really great graphic that I thought I should describe for you guys. I really, really like it. But basically, they have, let's say, 5 phases. Phase 1 starts with a stranger, right, who is attracted to your website, probably by your blog or by, again, keywords that I told you, I shared before, very, very important. And then once they're attracted, you can then turn those strangers into visitors, right? Those visitors are coming to your website. And then once you can turn those visitors or convert them into actual leads because you've used a form on your website, you've used calls to action on your website, or you've had landing pages that were that spoke very specifically to who they are, what they're interested in, what they're trying to accomplish, what problem you can solve for them. So now they're leads. And then you can use CRM, which is customer relationship management, as I said before, email marketing, to then convert them to customers, right? So that's the fourth phase. And then you also have the fifth phase, which I really, really like. And these are your promoters because you've delighted them. You've provided really great service. And these are the ones that actually turn into referrals. And as I've shared a few videos before, we've been, thankfully this year's there's been a huge uptick in referrals, and very, very thankful for that, because that is, that helps us understand that we're on the right track in terms of serving our previous customers, so they then become promoters for our company. And of course, when you have a referral, that know, like, trust factor is, the bar is lessened a little bit, because that trust element is, you can, it's easier to kind of hop over that trust element because they heard about your company from a referral from someone they know, like, and trust. So just want to make sure that we're really touching on that. So what I'm going to do is share 10 specific lead generation marketing strategies, or I will call them tactics, if you want to call them that, not necessarily strategies, but ways to generate leads, right? And so let's make sure that we talk about those. I do want to make sure that each one of these should have a call to action. So I'm going to start with my favorite, and it's my favorite because of the kind of work that we do, because we focus on compliance and regulations, and managing multi-million-dollar budgets, and federal guidance and all of those things. One of the things that we've done quite a bit was content marketing, and content marketing could be a white paper, it could be webinars, it could be ebooks. And so content marketing is something that is, definitely, often used marketing strategy. And then there's email, right? So there's email marketing that's growing in, I would say, importance, certainly growing in, suddenly, I wouldn't say suddenly, but more and more companies are realizing the importance of having email marketing, especially a lot of people who may have depended on interacting with people on social media. They then realize, wait a minute, if this social media platform were to go away, so would my, potential, so is my audience would go away. And of course, certainly prospects would go away and leads would go away, because everything I've done with them, I've done through my interaction with them via social media. And so now everyone's very concerned about making sure that they can, of course, turn a lot of these social media contacts into, folks that are on their distribution list or mailing list, because that email will help to, of course, deepen that relationship as well. And also, as I shared before, help with the nurturing, the lead nurture that I mentioned earlier. So ads and retargeting. So ads are, paid ads, where companies will pay, they will run, different types of ads, and those ads will take, the prospects to a website, to a landing page, where there's language that's been customized I wouldn't say customized, language that's been optimized to you know entice those prospects to become a lead, because maybe you're once they come to that landing page, you're then giving them something free. They're providing certain information, and then of course now they are they are officially a lead. Retargeting is, I won't even try to do it justice, but there are ways that during an ad campaign that you can retarget folks who are, and I won't, again, I'm not going to try to describe it. I've actually used it through a person who ran ads for our company. She's done a fantastic job. But just know that retargeting is another really interesting way to get folks to basically get reintroduced on one, two, maybe one, two or three times, on the ad itself that you have shown to them before. So another thing is, another marketing strategy is webinars. That's something that I have used quite a bit for our consulting business, and blog. As I said before, we have a consulting business. We have a blog. These are all human written blogs, by the way. They are not AI derived. They are not AI conceptualized. They are not AI written. I'm very proud of the fact that every single blog on the Grants Works website was researched and written by me, long form. And then, of course, there's social media. There are specific things that certain social media platforms, certain tools that they have for businesses, such as Facebook and Instagram, having that learn more button. So once they click learn more, they can come to your website. There are different calls to action that Facebook has in place for businesses to be able to turn folks who are interested in that Facebook post or that Instagram post into a person that actually visits your website or your landing page. And then, of course, maybe they decide to go for one of the leads or lead gen strategies, and then, of course, become an actual lead because they downloaded something or filled out a form or something along those lines. And so product trials is number 7. And when we think about product trials, we think about when we used to get, that small container of, dish detergent, or that small container of, other types of detergent in your inbox. And those are the things that's what comes to my mind. But there are other ways that you can do product trials. I've actually done a product trial for the Ready, Set, Go Consult Accelerator. And there are just certain things that you can do to entice folks to move from the trial to becoming, a fully paid customer for that particular product. Then there's event marketing. Event marketing, this is something that we are ramping up ourselves this year. There are certain things such as, having an exhibit at, the conference where, your leads are going to be attending, hosting an event yourself. So just make sure that, keep event marketing is something in the back of your mind that you may decide to give a try. Then there's partner marketing. I've done this before early in our business, in my business, and I did this with 4 other consultants that were also in the grant space. We didn't do the same exact things, but our work was complementary. So I was the one that was focused on grant compliance. There was another one who was a grant writer. I was actually focused on government grants and grant compliance. There was another one who was a grant writer. The other one was an evaluator. And then basically an evaluator, for those of you who don't know, what they do is they evaluate the performance of the project, the grant funded project. And these are typically, PhDs or folks with, master's degrees that really can evaluate data, basically design the data capture methods. It's a whole thing. And then we also had another person who specialized in, I can't remember her specialty, but we came together as partners and co-hosted a number of events, and we all were able to benefit from the huge number of people that participated in our events. So just want to make sure that you all were aware of ways that you can partner. And then, of course, speaking engagements. This is something that I've definitely increased this year, started it last year, was really, really surprised at I was really surprised at, number one, you definitely have to be on your P's and Q's. You have to be prepared as you should be, as a person who represents your company and as a person who claims to be an expert in your space. You must be prepared. You must, come with your A game. But I would have to say that because it was the first times that I was actually paid up to 5 figures for a speaking engagement, it was just, it was an eye opener. I think that's what it is. It was really an eye opener about other ways that you can use what's in your brain, your experience to generate revenue. I'm used to, that work, the reports, the actual deliverable itself. But going and doing a speaking engagement, um, being very prepared, right? So that you can talk off the cuff about a number of different things, was just a different experience, and an experience that I actually enjoy, and an experience that really, really was an eye opener for me to help me understand really what are some of my talents and skills that may have been underutilizing. So just want to make sure we talk about that. Now, so now I'm going to focus on some lead generation tips. There are quite a few, there's so much more that could be written about lead generation. So there's lead scoring, there's lead qualifying, there's so many things that you can do when it comes to that you may need to do. You may not need to do that depending on the size of the business and the size of the audiences that you're interacting with, and the kind of data that you want to glean from your leads. Just know that there's like a lot more you can do with that. But what I'm going to talk about are some lead generation tips. Some of these are things that I learned over the past, I would say over the less than a year. It's been less than a year. And part of the reason is because of the work, again, because of the work that we do and the kind of highly specialized area that my business operates in. I already knew that there were certain things that I was going to need to do in order to stand out, and I did that, and I mean it's worked out really well for us. But one of the things, and one of the tips that's on the list of 10 tips here, is that you need to evolve, right? And that's one of the things that I definitely learned. So where is your target market hanging out, right? So that's one of the lead gen tips to consider. You want to you definitely want to think strategically so that you're not attracting people to your business, to your webinar, to your speaking, your engagement, or whatever it is that you're doing, who may not be the best customers. You may, generate volume, may generate, a lot of people that may come in to participate, to hear what you have to say, but they're not necessarily people who are interested in buying your product or buying your service. So it's really important that you think very carefully about where your target market is hanging out so that you can go to them and then attract them with a lead that you know that they're very interested in. It's also good to know where they're hanging out, because that will give you an idea of what they're interested in, what their pain points are, how they speak, how they describe their pain points. So just wanted to make sure we talked about that. And then find out what works best for you. Uh, you know, for some consultants, webinars are where it's at. I know of an attorney. She is on, just really on point. And I won't share much about what she does because some of you guys might learn, might figure out who she is. But there is a certain tactic that she uses, and it's been very successful for her based on what she's described to me. I see her doing this consistently, and it's clearly working for her. And so that's why, but maybe it won't work so well for another type of consultant. So always find out what works best for you. And as I said before, that also will be related to where your target market, because what works best for you will also relate very much to your target market, because you'll be able to assess how well it works, because your target market is going to they're the ones that are going to really demonstrate their interest. And so depending on their interest level, whether or not what you're doing is actually helpful for your company. And one other tip I would add, and this is tip number 3, is not to rely on one lead generation source. So when I first started my business, I relied heavily on a certain type of lead gen source, and really, really great for positioning, right? Really great for thought leadership, really, really great for branding, even not necessarily the branding, certainly the positioning and the thought leadership, and making sure that everyone was clear about the expertise and the services we bring to the table. But in order to really ramp up those numbers, I then had to put in place other lead gen strategies to make sure that I was getting a flow and the volume of new leads that would, of course, potentially become customers. One other tip is, and this is number 4, is to update your lead magnet. So we are currently in the process of doing something similar. You want to make sure that that lead magnet is still attractive. And the one that we have, I think, is a pretty good lead magnet. But one of the things, yeah, I definitely want to make sure that we update it, not just the content, not just the internal content, but other ways that we can update it. And then have more than one. Have more than one. I remember it was suggested to me, hey, maybe on the homepage, this is the lead gen, this is the lead magnet, but maybe on the contact page or the services page, you have another lead magnet. So that's something to consider. And what this is my I'm not sure what the experts would say, but this is my own thoughts and opinions about this. And that is number 6, and that's to develop a low dollar lead magnet to generate revenue. But of course, it needs to be value that's worth paying for. You decide what is considered low dollar. I'm not going to advise on that. But sometimes, again, having that low dollar lead magnet with a really appealing title, really appealing transformation that will happen for prospects when they come to your website. It's really, really good if you could actually turn some of these, instead of just getting a lead, maybe a $5 or a $10 purchase, again, just help to offset the cost of creating that lead magnet. Or not just help to offset it, maybe just completely cover it all together. And then, of course, profit on that, get some profit from that. And then number 7 is to keep your messaging consistent. One of the things that and I think it's because I have a marketing background, being clear about what we do, what makes us stand out, again, that positioning and the thought leadership is something that we have always, I keep saying I have always done for the business. When you go to our website, I state very clearly what we do, who we do this for, and what makes us stand out, what makes us different. And we'll continue to do that because that's how we differentiate ourselves from our competitors. But there are times that I've made mistakes. Here's some of my mistakes. Hey, sometimes I had too many products. I have a website called grantsworksacademy.com, and that's basically the online source of a lot of our training. And I was, pushing out training, it was enough training to the point where I wasn't sure which one to market, which is the one that I should be marketing right now. And then I'd start marketing one, and then maybe it wasn't as effective or successful. Then I'd start marketing another one. And I'm sure the folks that have been helping me with marketing is probably driving the wall, but it was because I had too many. And so my business coach, and I recommend that we all have a business coach, my business coach pointed out to me, hey, why don't you just put them all into one? She basically gave me a really, really great idea. And going forward, I'm not all over the place trying to figure out the right language to promote that product or this product. Now I'm much, much more clear about the messaging for what we decided to do instead. And so one of the things that I think is important is because I didn't know which one to market, and I was being inconsistent in the products that I was offering, in our email marketing. If I didn't know, they sure as heck didn't know. So that's why it's important to be very, very clear and concise about the products and services that you have to offer so that your audience is very clear about what you're offering. I would also put number 8. Number 8 is being consistent in your use of social media. This is something I am still learning, and it's not because I don't have the capacity or our team doesn't have the capacity. It's because, quite frankly, well, it was a capacity issue. We were so focused on delivering services for our clients as we should, that we didn't give enough energy and time and strategic thought to consistency in our use of social media. thinking through what are the social media platforms that are best for our company. I did make a strategic decision earlier in the year and decided to eliminate one of them once I was very clear about who's buying our services, and realizing that who's buying our services is probably not on that particular platform, and therefore I should not be investing money in that, in doing any social media promotion on that website, so on that particular platform. But so being consistent in your use of social media is definitely a tip that I am taking on myself. And I'm actually, this week is we're going to really ramp that up, and really be clear about what we're trying to accomplish, and making sure everybody understands what we're trying to accomplish, because I think sometimes we see social media as folly, just this thing that we go out and we share information. But, depending on what your company is trying to accomplish, excuse me, and depending on a few factors, social media, the strategic use of social media, and the strategic use of the right platform for your business can really help to move the needle, on certainly, positioning, indirect marketing tactics, awareness, engagement, community building, right? So just want to make sure that we're not undervaluing social media, and really giving it its due. Another thing you can also do is leverage partnerships, and that's number 9. And that's similar to what I shared earlier about what what my company did with several other companies. Early in my business, they'd already been in business for a number of, maybe a few years more than I had been. But again, found that very beneficial. And it's something that I've shared in a number of spaces, whether it's the Ready, Set, Go Consult blog. And yes, there is a blog at readysetgoconsult.com. And if you go to the menu and click Learn, below that, you will see the link to the blog. You'll see a link to our Client Attraction Masterclass. You'll see information about the Ultimate Consultant and Freelancer Starter Kit. Yes, we have a starter kit for folks who are new to the consulting space, or those who want to learn about the different automations for their consulting business, or those who want tools and templates for how to engage with clients. Or those who want, examples of legal documents that you can use. So that is all there. So just want to make sure that we talked about leveraging partnerships, because, and again, I've written about that in a number of spaces. And number 10, and I've shared this earlier, but I want to make sure I included it as one of the tips. And that final tip is to leverage events. As I shared before, this is something that a lot of times we overlook, but should not overlook it any further. We should think about ways that we can certainly leverage events. So those are all the tips. I have, again, 10 tips to generate leads for your consulting or freelance business. I'd love for you to drop in the comments any other tips that you can share, right? Or any tips that any particular lead gen strategies that worked really well for you. Would love to learn about those. And not just what strategy worked for you, the type of business you're in. Like, what is your consulting business focus on? What is your freelance business focus on? Because I think that will help others who come and watch this video understand the importance of finding out what works for a particular industry, and even a particular niche within an industry. So, definitely share what you can in the chat, and share this video if you know of someone who's interested in becoming a consultant, or they're struggling with getting their business off the ground. And I'm contacted by folks in that space quite a bit. They're struggling with getting their business off the ground. They have a lot of knowledge. They have certifications, they have multiple degrees, but being able to take all that knowledge and that energy and then really focus it into growing a business sometimes really challenging. And that's what we do with the Ready Set Go Consult membership. We help you really think about what you're trying to accomplish with your business. We help you think about your why. We help you really analyze your seek, which is your skills, expertise, experience, and knowledge. And then once we really help you take a deep dive, we then introduce other concepts. We talk, really teach you. We teach you ways to automate your business. We take a deep dive into proposals. What are some of the key areas that should be in your proposal? And ways to market your business, ways to become a thought leader. So just quite a bit that we cover in the membership. So definitely check out readysetgoconsult.com. But before you do that, please subscribe. So I'm going to close it off here. Wanted to make sure, we just had a holiday a few days ago, but I wanted to still come and show up for you guys. And, looking forward to hearing hearing from you, what some of your comments and thoughts are about how to generate leads for your consulting or freelance business. So thanks for hanging out with me. And I look forward to reading some of your comments. Bye.